Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. In today's video, going to be talking through the NBA slate on Draftkings for Tuesday, April the 11th. We're back to talk through the playoffs. You know, the playoffs have officially started on Tuesday, or at least they will start on Tuesday. The play-in tournament starts on Tuesday, so we have the 7 and 8 seeds from the East and the West playing each other, and the winner of these games gets the 7 seed and will officially be in the playoffs. So the winner of the Atlanta-Miami game will get the 7 seed in the East. They'll be in the playoffs, and then the winner of the Lakers-Timberwolves game gets the 7 seed in the West and will be in the playoffs. And then the loser of these games will play again on Friday. So we got a 2-game slate for Tuesday. I'm excited to talk through these 2 games, guys. You know, I'm excited the postseason is officially here. Obviously, the NBA playoffs are super fun to watch. Usually, the games are always pretty competitive. Hopefully, that'll be the case this postseason. But we got some big contests for these 2 gamers. I know the prize pools, they kind of dwindled down towards the end of the season, but we got a 500K prize pool, 100K to first contest on DraftKings for this Tuesday slate. So going to be talking through the playoffs, DFS wise. Hopefully, or at least I plan on making videos for the postseason, kind of pretty much as I can, Monday through Friday, getting up videos, especially for like the bigger slates. So the days where we have like 3-4 game slates, I definitely want to make videos for those slates. As the postseason progresses, as we get less and less games, maybe, that'll be when I kind of stop making DFS content, but going to try and get some DFS videos up at least like kind of early on in the postseason while we do have, most of the games, like 3-4 games a day. But I wanted to make a video for this 2-gamer. I'll definitely have another video up for Wednesday's slate. We'll have another 2-gamer on Wednesday. But yeah, guys, we're going to talk through this one, go game by game, kind of break down each one of these 2 games. What stands out to me, taking a first look at this slate on Monday. I'm recording this video, on Monday afternoon. But before we do get started with the breakdown, if you guys do enjoy these DFS videos, if you find them helpful, make sure you hit that like button down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, go check out PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the sponsor of this video. You guys can actually sign up for PrizePicks and use my promo code Noah. When you sign up, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. And for those of you that have never heard about PrizePicks, they are a player prop site. So really simple, really easy to use. You're just taking more or less on a player's projection. It's as simple as that. You have to make at least 2 picks. You can make up to 6 picks, and you can win up to 25x your money on PrizePicks. And even though we only have like a few games a day right now, I'm still going to be making some PrizePicks content all through the playoffs. I'll definitely have a video up for these Tuesday games, talking through a couple props that I like. So if you want to check out that video, it'll probably go up a little bit after this video goes up. I plan on posting this video sometime Monday night, and then later Monday night is when I'll have my PrizePicks video up. But we already have props up for Tuesday's game. They even have props up for Wednesday's games as well. You can take a look at the board, see if there's anything that stands out to you. Again, you're just taking more or less on a player's projection. It's as simple as that. But if you guys are not signed up for PrizePicks yet, use that promo code Noah when you sign up, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk through these 2 games, guys. We'll start off with the first game of the night, the Hawks and the Heat. So looking at this game first, we'll start off on the Miami side. Miami, I think, is coming into this game fully healthy. There's really no injuries to talk about on the Miami side. So we'll start off with kind of the main guys here. You got Jimmy Butler coming in at 9K. You got Bam Adebayo coming in at 7,700. You got Tyler Hero coming in at 6,800. When you look at these 4 games today, and we're going to talk about this a lot during the playoffs, there's not really going to be great matchups during the playoffs, because when you have like the best teams going up against each other, it's not really going to be like a good matchup for really anyone. But I think these Miami guys are in a pretty good spot here. Atlanta has been a pretty bad defensive team this season. In terms of defensive rating, I'm pretty sure they're like bottom 5 in defensive rating or close to that this year. So I think it's a really good spot for Jimmy, for Bam, for Hero. Jimmy, we've seen him kind of turn it on when the postseason comes around. He usually always plays really well during the postseason. His minutes, usually start to creep back up as well. And since it is this isn't technically like a do or die game. Like even if the Heat lose tonight, they'll still play again on Friday. But you would think starters are going to play pretty big minutes here, and this is going to be a game that Miami wants to win. So I'm expecting like 36, 37, 38 minutes from Jimmy Butler. The price tag at 9K does feel about right, but the matchup's really good. I would not be surprised to see Butler have a good game here. I think he is a pretty strong play today. And I think Bam Adebayo is a pretty strong play as well. Bam Adebayo has been a guy that, I can't ever seem to get right. Anytime I play him on, play him in DFS, anytime I take an over on him on PrizePicks, the guy just always seems to do poorly. But I really like this matchup for Bam against Atlanta. He's had a lot of success against Atlanta this season, done really well against them, averaging 49 DK points through 4 games against the Hawks. Atlanta's defense, especially like against centers, they've really not been that great. So I think it's a really good spot for Bam. I think the $7,700 price tag is too low for him. He's going to play big minutes as well here. He's probably my favorite play on Miami. Definitely have interest in Bam here. I think Hero at 6,800 is okay as well. He feels priced about right, but again, Atlanta's defense just not been that great lately, so I think Hero could have a good game here. But I would definitely say, when you're looking at those three Miami guys, my favorite is for sure Bam, then Butler, and then Hero. And then the rest of Miami, Max Strus has been starting lately. I assume he'll continue to start. At 5,400, he feels priced, where he should be. Not a guy that I have like a ton of interest in. The rest of like the value guys from Miami, I don't really see a ton of value here. It's a 2-game slate, so you can take some shots on some guys coming off the bench. Like you could take a shot on like a Kevin Love, who's only 4,700. We know Kevin Love is someone that can produce when he gets minutes, but you look at his minutes since he's been coming off the bench. He's only been playing like 15, 18 minutes a night, so he's gonna need to be really productive when he's out there. One guy that I was looking at for value was Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry has not really done much lately, but I feel like he's another one of these guys that maybe like when the postseason comes around, he can really start to get it together and play well. His minutes have not been like that great, but he's only 4K. You look at this 2-game slate, there's really no value on this slate. It's hard to find value plays, so I don't mind going to Kyle Lowry here, even though he is going to come off the bench, I assume. He's been coming off the bench lately. I assume that'll continue even in the play-in tournament, so at 4K, I think Kyle Lowry's like an okay value play. And like Gabe Vincent's been starting, he's just not the best permanent producer. When he's playing with Hero, with Bam, with Lowry, with all these other guys, it's really hard for Gabe Vincent to put up a good game. So not super interested in him as a value play. I think if I was going to take a shot on anyone from Miami for value, I think my favorite guy to go to would probably be Lowry at 4K. But I think that's it for Miami. I think we kind of talked about everything there. Now on the Atlanta side, not the best spot here for Atlanta. We know, Miami's a good defensive team. Their defense hasn't been as great lately, but this is still a team that plays really slow. Don't love the spot for really any of these Atlanta guys. And when you look at the price tags, we're not really getting discounts on these guys. Trae Young is 10K. DeJounte Murray is 8,800. These guys all rested last game just because they didn't have anything to play for. That's why they're all listed as questionable on DraftKings, but they're going to play. So, Trae Young at 10K. I don't really have a ton of interest in here. He's done really poorly against Miami just kind of throughout his career. Miami's done a really good defensive job on Trae. Trae's one of these guys that can put up a huge game any night, but I would consider him kind of like just a GPP option, definitely more of a riskier play. Don't love the price tag either. Same goes for DeJounte Murray. I know Jimmy Butler's probably going to be way more popular, but I would just rather play Jimmy Butler over a guy like DeJounte Murray when they're closely priced. Clint Capella is someone that when he gets minutes, he can produce, but this matchup's not great. Bam's a really good defender. Miami's been one of the toughest matchups for centers this season. But we do see, in games where Capella plays like 33, 34 minutes, he can put up good stat lines. Maybe in the postseason, we see them ramp up Capella's minutes a little bit. During the regular season, he was only playing like 26, 28 minutes a night. Maybe now that they're in the playoffs, maybe he'll play like 32, 33, 34 minutes. But again, at 6,200, not like a guy that I'm really prioritizing. The rest of Atlanta, Sadiq Bey, John Collins, Bogdan, nothing else looks great here. I mean, maybe like a DeAndre Hunter we could go to for value. Again, the value on this slate is so thin. So I don't mind going to Hunter. Hunter should play big minutes here. He's one of their best defenders, and I think they're going to want him out there defensively against Jimmy Butler, against Tyler Hero. So if you're looking for value below 5K, I think DeAndre Hunter might be one of the best options. We know the minutes are going to be there. I mean, you look at his minutes this season, he's been playing 30-plus minutes a night, in pretty much in all their competitive games. So I don't mind going to DeAndre Hunter here at 4,900. He's not a guy that I really ever get excited to roster, but we're talking about a 2-game slate with no value plays. So I don't mind DeAndre Hunter as a value option, but that's really it for Atlanta. There's not a ton that I'm loving on Atlanta today, so I think that does it for this game. I think we can go ahead and move on to the next game, Minnesota and the Lakers. So we'll start off on the Lakers side. The Lakers, really the only injury to talk about here is Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder, I think, has been out their last 2 games. Even if Dennis Schroeder remains out, I don't think this injury is too impactful. If he plays, I don't think he's really going to be a viable option. But maybe if Dennis Schroeder remains out, you might see a few more minutes for some of these bench guys like a Malik Beasley. Reeves' minutes should be really secure. Russell's minutes should be really secure. But I don't think the Schroeder injury is too impactful, whether he's in or out. So we'll start off at the top with the Lakers. You got AD coming in at 11,200. You got LeBron coming in at 10,900. AD going to go up against Minnesota, who's going to be without Rudy Gobert here. So I think the matchup for AD is pretty solid. Him and LeBron are very closely priced. Normally, we see these guys be a little bit, there's usually a difference in price. Like I know a lot of this season, especially as of late, AD's been like way more expensive than LeBron. That's not the case today. There's only a $300 difference between the two. I don't consider either one of the Lakers guys priorities today. And again, because there's so little value on the slate, if you pay up all the way for LeBron or AD, you're gonna have to play guys like DeAndre Hunter, Kyle Lowry, these guys you probably just don't want to play. So I'm not really forcing in either one of these Lakers' top 2 stars, but I do want to say that they're obviously solid plays on a 2-game slate. You look at the pay-up options on this slate. I mean, you have like AD, LeBron, Trae Young. We're going to talk about Anthony Edwards, Jimmy Butler. They're really like the only guys, besides Trae Young, they're the only guys above 10K, and they're the only guys that probably could go out there. Like AD, I feel like is one of the few players on the slate that could legit put up like 70 DraftKings points. I mean, he has that upside in him. But 11-2, you're paying the premium for him. It's a slate with little value. Not considering AD a priority. LeBron at 10-9, I don't mind. LeBron's been pretty good lately. The minutes have really started to tick back up, I should say. And now heading into the postseason, I think we can expect LeBron to play 35, 36 minutes here if the game's close. He feels priced about right at 10-9. But between him or AD, I think I probably would prefer LeBron. But that's not really much of much conviction there. I think both guys look pretty similar. Now, the rest of the Lakers, you have Reeves and Russell. Russell's coming in at 7,200. Reeves coming in at 7,100. Where these guys are priced at, I don't love either one. They both feel priced about right. Russell, we just haven't really seen like a big ceiling from him when he's playing with LeBron and with AD. A lot of Russell's best games came like early when he was on the Lakers without LeBron, when LeBron was injured. Ever since LeBron's come back, like we just haven't seen that massive upside from D'Angelo Russell, and we're not really getting much of a discount on him either. I mean, he's kind of priced to the full right now, so at 7,200, don't really like D'Angelo Russell a ton. Austin Reeves has been great ever since he's been inserted into the starting lineup, but again, he feels priced where he should be at 7,100. He's going to get big minutes. He should be relatively productive when he's on the floor, but you're going to need him to put up like over 40 DraftKings points to be worth this salary, and when he's playing with LeBron, playing with AD, playing with Russell, I just don't know if Reeves is going to consistently put up over 40 DK points. So him and Russell, I don't really have a ton of interest in either one. And then the rest of the Lakers guys, these are just kind of like dart throws, I think. Jared Vanderbilt's still going to start, but his minutes have just not been that great, even though he's been starting. He's only been playing like 20 minutes a night. Not a guy that I have a ton of interest in here. Like maybe he sees more minutes in this spot. Like maybe they want his defense out there. Maybe he's going to try and guard Anthony Edwards, and maybe that's why his minutes could get up here. But you look at the minutes for Vanderbilt lately, he feels like a tough guy to trust right now. Not a ton of interest in him, but again, it's a 2-game slate, so I guess he's viable. Malik Beasley coming off the bench, he's one of these guys that can get hot from 3. He's been shooting the ball pretty well lately. The game log's been better. I don't mind going to Beasley here. I think I'd have a little bit more interest in Beasley if Dennis Schroeder remained out, because I think if Dennis Schroeder remains out, that makes it, that just makes the minutes become more secure for Beasley. At 4,600, he's an okay value play, but these guys are just dart throws at best. There's really nothing else that stands out on the Lakers. We can expect, in these type of playoff games, minutes are going to be very high on the starters. So LeBron, AD, Russell, Reeves, these guys are all going to play probably 35, 36 minutes. I just don't know if there's going to be enough minutes for some of these secondary pieces, especially, guys like Troy Brown and Rui Hachimura. Like, I just don't know if they play enough to be viable. But if you want to take a shot on maybe a Malik Beasley or a Vando, I don't mind it. But that's it for the Lakers. I think we kind of talked about all the options there. And now on the other side of this game with Minnesota. So, the big news for Minnesota here is that they're not going to have Rudy Gobert for this game. He's been suspended, so it'll be interesting to see what Minnesota does with the starting lineup. We saw whenever Gobert was out earlier this season, they would always start Naz Reid. Well, they don't have Naz Reid right now. He's injured. Plus, those games when Gobert was out, they didn't have Karl-Anthony Towns, but now Karl-Anthony Towns is back. Last game without Rudy Gobert, after he left after the second half, or after the first half, he had that altercation with Kyle Anderson, then he got sent home, didn't play in the second half. They actually started Kyle Anderson in place of Rudy Gobert in the second half of last game, and then they put Towns at center. So I'm guessing that's what Minnesota is going to do today. If they're going to slide Karl-Anthony Towns down to center and just start Kyle Anderson. But they don't have Jaden McDaniels either. So without Jaden McDaniels, we'll have to see who starts in place of him. It was Taurean Prince who started last game, so I'm guessing Taurean Prince starts again for Minnesota. So if I had to guess, Minnesota's starting lineup will be Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Taurean Prince, Kyle Anderson, and Karl-Anthony Towns. I'm guessing that's what they do. But they could go with another big. Like they could start a Nathan Knight, they could start a Luka Garza, but I highly doubt that, especially like against in this matchup. Like I think they probably want just Towns playing the 5. But we'll talk through the Minnesota pieces. So at the top with Anthony Edwards at 9,100, I think Anthony Edwards upside gets a little bit higher here without without Rudy Gobert. We saw last game Anthony Edwards grabbed 13 rebounds. I think probably a lot of that was due to Gobert not playing for a large majority of that game. We saw Anthony Edwards though play 39 minutes, took 21 shots. He's going to continue to be kind of the lead usage guy on this Timberwolves team. He's going to play huge minutes here. I think the matchup is fine. I think the Lakers, I don't know if they really have anyone that can slow down Ant Edwards here. So I definitely like Ant as a pay-up option at 9,100. I think he looks very strong. I like Karl-Anthony Towns quite a bit as well. I think Karl-Anthony Towns, especially without Rudy Gobert here, his minutes should be very, very secure. We saw him play 36 minutes last game. He's no longer on a minutes restriction. Ever since he's come back from injury, the minutes have just kind of started to slowly tick up. And getting 36 minutes last game in a big game was good to see from Karl-Anthony Towns. You would think in a game like this, another big time game, we're going to see 35, 36, 37 minutes from Cat here. Matchup against AD, I don't love. There's definitely some foul trouble risk as well if Cat's going to be guarding AD, but Cat's a good permanent producer. His numbers should be even better with Gobert off the floor. I think 8,600 is a little bit too cheap for Cat here, so really like both Ant and Cat at their price tags. And then the rest of Minnesota, I'm not as excited about these guys just because their price tags are really, really high. Kyle Anderson, again, I think he probably starts for this game, but he's 7,600. I mean, it's 7,600. It's just hard to get excited about Kyle Anderson at this price tag. He has to put up like over 40 Draftkings points to be worth the salary. And when he's playing with, Ant, with Cat, like I just don't know if Kyle Anderson has that upside. So if he was cheaper, I'd like him, but it's 7,600. Just going to pass on Kyle Anderson today. Same goes for Mike Conley. At 6,900. I know he's been playing a lot better lately, but this price tag is just too hard to get to for Conley. He's just not a guy that has shown the upside to be worth this price tag. Rarely do you see him put up like over 40 Draftkings points. I mean, he did it last time they faced the Lakers. He put up 46 DK points, but usually, you're getting like 25, 30 DK points from Mike Conley. He's just not a guy that really ever is worth rostering at almost 7K. So tough to feel excited about Mike Conley. And then even like Taurean Prince, like this is what I'm talking about, guys, when I say there's no value. You would think like Taurean Prince would be really cheap, but he's 5,600. Like we're not really even getting much value on Taurean Prince here. I'm guessing Taurean Prince starts. I'm guessing he plays a good amount of minutes, but he's not cheap. He's 5,600. So like at 5,600, I'm not really that interested in Taurean Prince. The only other guys that I'll mention from Minnesota are the bigs, just because there is no Rudy Gobert. Again, like I think they're just going to start Karl-Anthony Towns at center, but you can maybe see them start Nathan Knight at center. Maybe they start Luka Garza at center. Nathan Knight was the guy that got some minutes last game. He played 2 minutes. I don't think Luka Garza played at all last game. So I think Nathan Knight probably gets like the backup center minutes. It's a 2-game slate, so like if Nathan Knight plays 12, 14 minutes, I mean, he's a good permanent producer. He could definitely put up a good game or a good enough game at in 12, 14 minutes. Like he could put up 18, 20 Draftkings points in that time, which on this slate probably would be good enough. But it's really going to be hard to have a ton of interest in Nathan Knight, like if he's not starting, because if he's not starting, he's most likely just going to be the backup center. And if that's the case, it's just hard to really consider him like a great value, but he's viable on a 2-game slate. I guess he's the backup center. Maybe they go to Luka Garza, but I assume it's going to be Nathan Knight. I don't really see much else on Minnesota, though, that's really worth rostering here. I think that does it for this team, and I think that does it for this game, guys, and this 2-game slate for Tuesday. Again, I know this is kind of shorter video, but when we only have 2 games to talk about, there's really, it's not going to be a super long video, but I'm excited to watch these games on Tuesday. I'm excited that the NBA playoffs, or technically the play-in is here, but we're going to be making DFS content all throughout the postseason. Definitely going to try and get up videos like Monday through Friday for sure. Might even try and make some videos on the weekends too, especially like when we have some bigger slates on the weekends. Want to get some videos up for those slates. But I plan on making DFS videos at least for the first round or 2 of the playoffs while we have 3-4 game slates. Once we get down to just like 1 game a day and 2 games a day, we'll see about making DFS content then. But I'm definitely going to be making Prize Picks content all throughout the postseason. So again, if you guys are not playing on Prize Picks yet, you can sign up for Prize Picks, use that promo code NOAH. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100, and you can take a look at all the player props that Prize Picks already has posted for Tuesday's games and for Wednesday's games as well. They have some props up too. See if there's anything that stands out to you. Again, you're just taking more or less on a player's projection. It's as simple as that. You have to make at least 2 picks. We can make it with 6 picks. You can win up to 25x your money on Prize Picks. Go check them out, guys. use that promo code Noah when you sign up. Get your first deposit matched up to $100. But that's all that I got for this Tuesday slate. Should be a fun one, guys. Excited to watch these games. Hope you guys all have a good Tuesday. Hopefully we can all make some money on this slate, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.